Welcome to WritingAlong.com. Today's episode is all about how the New York Times bestseller list really just means nothing. If we're talking artistically, if we're talking in terms of what these books are really saying or accomplishing, what kind of long-term influence they're having on a population, that's not really your best list to check for. All that list is really telling you, it's not hidden. It's very evident in the word choice, best selling. Do you care what's flying off the shelves? What's bringing in the most revenue? Does that really signify to you that something is providing the most value to the world? If your worldview is completely just intrinsically tied to, oh, this is how much it sells, so this is how much it's worth. There's a lot of consistencies kind of lacking there. A lot of contradictions that arise when you think of the stuff that's really selling. Is everything that's making $1 million necessarily good for the world? Is it providing something? Is it just kind of riding a wave? Is it just contributing to something that doesn't really touch or reach people in any significant way? If you're a writer who is trying to really bring something to the world that does align with that other side, which is something that resonates and really has this impactful wave on the world and has this kind of influence that you're seeking through it. Maybe it just tells a really, really powerful story of yourself, of your own life, or something completely fictional. Nevertheless, though, it's your writing conveying something big ideas. The New York Times bestseller list isn't really where you want to be aspiring towards. You shouldn't really be thinking about it, but I'm making this video because it's hard not to really notice it, because on the front page of books, it's just always plastered, right? On these, spanning every single genre, category, whatever you want to call it, it's tempting to think, oh, that's where I need to be as a writer. That's where I'll find my fulfillment. And the truth is, I take a look at what's actually on that list. I mean, beyond just the, I don't want to even say flashy covers, but beyond just that, really take a look at what's inside those books. Is that what you want to be? There's nothing wrong with the list inherently at all. There's nothing wrong with books that have it at all, or that make it on that. This isn't a diss or a discrediting of it. It's just kind of a wake-up call, something that people do need to hear if they're unaware that it's not your literary goal, it's not your influence goal, it's just bestseller, best selling. That means they had great marketing. They had not even just great marketing, just marketing. I'm telling you, think of some of the songs, right? If we're going to talk about that, let's look at the Billboard chart. Very similar in its nature. It just doesn't have New York before it, but Billboard Top 100. Are all those songs authentic? Are they really, or are they just kind of not all of them, but are some of them just kind of mass produced, just really hitting all the check marks that they're supposed to, and they sound kind of soulless, but you know what, they're catchy, and they serve that purpose. That's what a large majority of the songs in the top 100 are, right? If you talk to some of these artists, they will admit to you with their hits, they kind of sacrificed a little piece of themselves, a little bit of their authenticity to just kind of cash out a bit and get whatever they needed to get. And well, it worked. Same thing with books. A lot of these writers who make it there, they kind of had a little bit, just what they were saying to get that mass appeal, that mass effect. The thing is, when you do that, as a writer, you spread yourself a little thin to where you're saying a lot. You have all these chapters and stuff, but it's resonating with everybody. But because of that, it's resonating with no one, right? I really believe there are people in specific places because they're the voice for that group, for that community, for that vicinity, for that so on, that entire sphere. There's no one that speaks for everyone, and thank goodness, right? Otherwise, where would be the place for any kind of form of really anything significant? Because everything significant always challenges something, right? It pushes itself up another, like a very strong idea, and it places itself in not opposition to it, but definitely in some form of conflict, conversation rather, a dialogue with it. And again, as a writer, if you want to say something really, really powerful and significant, I would hope that I'm talking to you brilliant author with something amazing to say. I hope you don't get lost in chasing this blank dream of the New York Times bestseller list when you never needed to. When really that might have discouraged you, it might have shut you off from your writing in general. And I'm telling you, writing as a whole, just as its own craft, is something that you find fulfillment in inherently. You're not like seeking it out like I need to sell this many copies until I feel fulfilled as a writer. No, like it happens before you sell a copy, like before you even get your final copy delivered to you. Or I mean, if you're just publishing it as an ebook or something, before it's formatted and all that. The greatness of writing and what it can bring to your life is already given to you before that. And what do you want writing to be for you? That's really the question you need to start asking yourself as well. Is it just going to be this thing that you monetize your life with? Like, are you just going to be monetizing all your literary contributions to the world, or whatever, fiction, nonfiction, whatever it is it just a way to make money? If you really want, I really, really believe you have a lot of capital, got a lot of resources behind you, a lot of, connections, not like the best connections in the world, but, you just know some people and those people know some people, and you get an agent who puts you there, puts you there, puts you there. You can hit that list easy. It's not really a challenge. Listen to look up some of the people who put it on the front of their books. They're not these superstars all the time. Yeah, sure, a lot of superstars do that. And also, I want you to get into the habit of defining your own writer's identity without these outside influences and markers. You don't need 50 things to corroborate and support who you are as a person. You don't need all this social proof to speak for you. Otherwise, it can come across, this is how some people may perceive things. It's like a compensation for why do you need all these names and these vouchers when, why do I need to hear all that before I hear what you have to say? Can't I just hear what you have to say, and that in itself should speak for itself? In an ideal world, everybody will hear you, and if you have something valuable to say, everybody will hear it. But it's not always the case, but sometimes people get a little lost and caught up to the extreme. I need this long forward from this one author, and I need this golden medal, a little icon on my front cover. Have you seen some covers of books? They're ridiculous. They're absurd sometimes. I mean, they don't even, you don't even know what the title is sometimes. It's just like award-winning this, and this list, and this award. You haven't even heard of half this stuff. And it just pollutes the book, and it really just distills and dilutes and eventually dissolves the message. Your medium just becomes, it's like you're a billboard. Are they supporting your book, or is your book supporting them, of what they represent? It's almost like you don't have any representation at all from what you're saying. So don't be afraid. If anything, embrace not anonymity, because you have your name on the book, even if it's a pseudonym. Come on, it's still you. It has some kind of connection, but embrace that sometimes it is, especially when beginning, just you on your own, just your cover, your humble cover. Maybe you got it professionally designed, maybe you designed it yourself, whatever, and it's got your name on it, it's got the title, and if you want, you can have a foreword, cool, but just don't be chasing that kind of that icon, that status as a writer, if that's not all you want to do. If, again, all you want to do is mass market something and just let it, throw it on shelves and fly off shelves, and if you get excited over charts that really say nothing, but I guess they mean some money's flowing to you, but they're flowing into the pockets of lots of people if you got a big team. But is that what you wanted to accomplish? Did you want to play this game of monetary interactions, this game of capital? Not capitalism. I'm not an opponent of that. Making money's nice, but just be aware. I do not want you or anyone at all who's an aspiring writer and has this kind of just this fire, this desire in them, this inspiration, this enthusiasm that really know it's just nothing can really come down on it apparently. But then, except for yourself, you try doing something and you try hitting that list and you don't make it. I don't want you to burn yourself out. No one else is going to burn yourself out, but you will, if that's all you're seeking, if that's what you think you need to do. The fulfillment of writing, the joy of it, what it means, what it can mean for the world, influence, conveying ideas, all that stuff, it comes without any of that. I don't even want to call it social proof because it's kind of meaningless, when it really gets down to it. What matters is very obviously what's in the book, what you're saying and how you're saying it. Sometimes your intention is part of the medium. Sometimes where you're coming from, how you're coming at it, means more than what's even expressly said. So if you came at your book and all you wanted to do was make a bunch of money with it, you might just do that if you're that dedicated to it. But is that all you wanted to do? I think a lot of writers with something real to say, something authentic to say, are kind of it's the undercurrent, it's going upstream. A lot of people aren't teaching you how to do this or even encouraging you to do this, but I'm telling you here, it's more important, it's more fulfilling, you're becoming a part of the writing tradition as a whole, as enlarged, not just in the past 100 years or half a decade of what you can call it whatever corporatized literature has really become. It's not a trend you want to necessarily ride or abide by if you have something to say. And I think you do have something to say. If you're interested in writing a book, I have a guide on my website, writingalong.com, completely free. I've been saying this a lot, and if you're listening, binging these, and you're definitely hearing it a lot, let it haunt your inbox. I send it straight to your inbox because I think you're more likely to open it and use it if you see it there. I really appreciate you stopping by for this video, and as always, thank you. I'll see you around.